Because Pastor Peter's in Canada right now, so he can't be with us today. But because he really loves us and misses us, he did a special video just for us. 我们一起观看 Let's watch it.
Hello, Hope family, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. 我们现在在 beautiful Canada， 在加拿大，我们 having a family vacation， 我们一起在度假。我跟 Peggy、跟 Ellie， 还有 Tommy 跟Junie。We're having a great time， 但是我们相信你今天来到教会绝对没有来错，因为今天 Pastor Jireh is bringing the word of God。Pastor Jireh 准备要上台讲道，所以大家 The Hope Family， 我们一起从座位上起立，拍手欢迎 Pastor Jireh 来到台上分享。
Praise God. Thank you, Pastor Peter.
谢谢 Pastor Peter.
Thank you from all the way in Vancouver.
谢谢你在 Vancouver.
Hey, before you sit down, turn to your neighbor and say, "It's so good to see you at home."
在坐下前，请跟左右旁边人说，很开心今天在教会看到你。
Awesome.
太好了。
Hey, see, Pastor Peter really loves us so much.
Pastor Peter 真的很爱我们。
He really loves our church.
他真的很爱我们教会。
I remember every time when we go out to any conference or any trips, he will always tune in to our Sunday services here.
每次我们出差或去国外参加特会，他总是会来看我们的直播。
And every time he does that, I think it created a culture in our staff as well.
那他这样子也在我们团队当中呢建立一个文化。
And not only on staff, I think even a lot of volunteers and people who call this place home, wherever they go, they're all tuning in to our Sunday experiences.
那不只是我们全职同工，很多在我们的会友或者是我们的一些服事团队人，他们每一次不能来参加组织，都一定会看我们的直播。
I even think that maybe Pastor Peter is looking at us right now, so hi.
我想 Peter 现在也可能正在看直播。
We miss you. I just want you guys to know, you do have a lead pastor and a team who loves this church very much.
我想让大家知道 Pastor Peter 真的非常爱我们的教会。
You know, whenever we, it's not just that. I was just thinking this morning because I only talked about Pastor Peter.
那今天早上呢，我有谈论到 Pastor Peter.
But I think, like I said, the team, no matter where we go, when we go for missions or whatever, like Junie and Tommy, they are tuning in almost every single Sunday.
不只是 Pastor Peter， 就是不管是我们全职同工，或是我们其他一些领袖，他们每次虽然不能来教会，可是他们一定都会准时收看我们的直播。
Because we believe that God has a very important word to speak through this church, and so we hope that the same thing will happen today for you guys.
那我们相信呢，神会透过这个教会呢，更多的来传讲他自己的真理，所以我相信今天神也会带下他的真理在我们当中。
Amen.
Amen.
Hey, so for those of you who were here last Sunday, Pastor Peter was preaching about finding God in the delay.
那上个礼拜呢 Pastor Peter 的讲到，他是说在延迟当中依然遇见神。
And it was the end of his two-part mini sermon called Rerouting.
那这是他的系列讲道，叫做重新定位中。
So if you don't really know what I'm talking about, you can go onto our YouTube channel and go rewatch those 2 episodes.
那如果你还没有听过，可以到我们的 YouTube 的 channel， 然后就可以看这2篇讲道。
But Peter last week, he was talking briefly about Pastor Ashley's story and my story.
那上礼拜呢 Pastor Peter 也有分享到Pastor Jireh 和 Pastor Ashley 的一些故事。
He's talking about how we came to be here in Taiwan and a small part of the journey that we took to do what we do now.
那他有讲到 Pastor Jireh 他为什么来到台湾，并且呢分享他为什么会进入我们教会工作。
And I remember just sitting up in the front row and I was just tearing up.
那时候我坐在前排，我就眼眶泛泪。
Because it was great to see what God did throughout the journey.
因为我看见神在这个当中对我的带领。
But it also reminded me about the hard and difficult time that I've been through in those critical moments.
但他也让我想起我在那段时间当中经历一些很艰难、困难的时刻。
And I think that, you know, it's through these difficult moments that helped me become who I am today.
但就是因为这些艰难的时刻呢，帮助我成为今天的自己。
Now, I'm not sure if all of you have encountered something that is life-changing for you.
那我不知道大家生命当中有没有经历这些重要的改变时刻。
But I believe for those of you who have, you remember a story about it, right?
那如果有的话，我相信你们对这个故事都非常记忆犹新。
Like for example, Pastor Peter mentioned this before about me that I'm sort of like the fixer in this church.
那之前 Pastor Peter 跟大家分享，其实我就是一个非常喜欢解决问题的人。
When I see something that is not quite right, my hands start to itch.
那每次我看到事情不对劲，我的手就很痒啊，
My legs start to shake, and I'm like, I gotta do something about it.
全身就忍不住想要做些什么。
Like for example, sitting in the front row is not easy for me.
就像坐在前排，其实对我来说并不容易。
Before I was in charge of production,
之前我是在负责带production 团队，
now
制作团队
Pastor Ashley is in charge of production.
现在 Pastor Ashley 在带 production 团
And
队
it's，really awesome, right? Just thank
很
Pastor
棒，
Ashley
对
and
不
his
对？我们
team
谢谢，
and
给
our
他一个
team.
掌声。
But when I was sitting in front, sometimes I see like the stand, music stand is still there and there's a video going on.
那有的时候我坐在前排，我就会看见后面在放影片，但是这个讲座还没有被拿走，
And then I notice I'm going like this.
然后我就会发现我自己身体这样左右倾斜，
And I was like, is somebody gonna take that down? It's just
我就很想要自己去把那个东西从讲台上拿下去，
waving to the side, saying, anybody?
然后一直 cue 大家说赶快来拿，赶快来
And
拿。
now we have an ops team that takes care of all of that and a stage managers as well.
那我们现在有 up team 还有我们 stage manager 来负责这件事情，
So it helps to curb with this problem that I have.
所以他们就帮助我解决这个问题了。
Some of you know Pastor Peter said that he has ADHD.
那 Pastor Peter 常说他自己有过动症哈，
I think I have OCD.
那我有强迫症其实。
I also thought about how did I end up becoming so OCD?
那我会想说，为什么我会有这样子的强迫症嘞？
Because I believe not all of us become the way we are right from the very beginning.
因为我们不是一开始就是这个样子嘛，对不对
Right? Something had to change in the course of time where you experience something and you're like suddenly, oh, yeah, I'm now like this.
那应该是过去当中你有经历某些事情，然后造成你会是有现在这样子的一个结果。
So I was preparing for this sermon. I was thinking back, like, oh, when did I start becoming so OCD?
所以我就开始回想，我什么时候开始有这个强迫症呢、
It gets to the point that, you know, back in the office, sometimes people would leave their slippers next to my seat.
那有的时候呢，我们办公室的同工会把一些拖鞋留在他的桌子下
I
面
won't，say who,
他没有讲是谁，
but then I'll be like,
然后我就会把它稍微移到他的座位那边，
my side.
然后说这画一条线，这边是我的，那边是你的。
We love you, you know who you are. But I asked myself, like, when did I start having this OCD, personality?
所以我想说，我这样子的性格是什么时候开始养成的？
And I recall back to when I was 6
我
years
就
old.
想到我6岁的时候，
Now, when I was 6 years old, I was not OCD yet, okay?
那个时候5、6岁的时候还没有强迫症，
But it was through something that happened when I was 6 that created this OCD personality in me.
那是因为呢，我在6岁的时候发生一件事情，所以我开始有这样的一个性格
And。so I'm going to share a little bit about this story with you. Is that okay?
所以我要跟大家分享一下我的故事，好
Yeah.
吗？好
So
吗？
what happened was one day I was at home.
所以有一天我在家里，
My parents are at work, but my grandma lives with us, so she's in the kitchen washing the clothes.
所以那天只有我奶奶在家，然后她在厨房。
And my parents bought me a small, DIY kit to build like a paper boat.
那我父母就为我买一个就是 DIY 的一个纸船的东西。
And it was a Viking ship.
那它是一条维京船。
Now, why would my parents buy this for me? Because I love to do arts and craft.
那我父母会买这个，是因为我很喜欢做手工的东西。
I think it's so interesting because you get to make something out of nothing.
我觉得很有趣，因为你可以从无到有。
And this is a picture of the Viking ship.
那这个就是那个维京船的照片。
Now, this is actually a better version.
那这个是比较漂亮的版本。
Back when I was 6 years old, it's not so nice.
我小时候的其实不是长这个
But
样
this
子，
is the best I could find online right now.
但这是我唯一能找到的照片。
So this whole thing is made out of paper.
那这个船呢，其实是用纸做的。
Isn't it amazing? Because it's out of
很漂亮，对不对？
paper. It has all these different designs of the wood and the shield and the sails.
你看它的设计啊，看起来很有木头感呐、然后很漂亮。
So all you have to do is kind of like pop it out, and then you start using glue to glue the small pieces together.
所以我就把那些很小的部分开始一个一个用胶水粘起来。
Now, for me, I would spend about an hour and a half trying to do this quietly in the living room.
那我大概花了1个半小时时间在做这个组装。
My grandma's very happy because I'm not like running all over the place.
我奶奶很开心，因为我没有烦她。
But as I was putting the pieces together,
那当我在把这些东西拼凑在一起的时候，
I'm almost done.
我都快要完成了。
But there's this one piece that was really tough,
但有一个部分特别难，
and that was the hull.
那就是船身。
Now, the hull, if you don't know what a hull is, if you look at the bottom of that boat, that is the hull.
大家如果不知道船身是什么，其实就是船碰到水的那个部分，那个下面。
Yeah, the hull is what that touches the water when you put a boat in the ocean.
它就是个底部，然后它会跟水面接触。
Now, why is that so difficult?
那为什么这么难呢？
Because imagine it's 2 pieces of paper that wants to go straight.
大家想象一下，就是其实是2张纸哦。
But you're supposed to tape, or actually you're supposed to glue the edges, the tip. See that little horse-looking thing? You're supposed to glue that part together, and it's supposed to stay together.
那这2张纸呢，它只能在它的边缘底端的地方把它们连接在一起。
But because the glue that I was using was just a regular paper glue,
那我当时用的胶水没有很厉害哈，
and the paper kind of wants to do this.
那所以呢纸就会弹开。
So I was like, oh, okay.
然后想说，没关系，
I stick it back.
我再把它粘回去，
And then it went, boop.
它又弹开。
I was like, okay, maybe the glue is still wet.
他说可能因为胶水还是糊的，再粘一次，吹一吹，
Stick.
再粘，又弹开。
It keeps doing this for a few times.
它就这样弹开了好几次。
Oh, by the 3rd time, I was like,
到第3次的时候，我就已经受不了了。
and I try and stick it again.
然后我就想把它
And
粘
it
回
keep
去，
opening.
它又弹开。
I got so mad, I picked up the boat
我超生气，我把船拿起来，
and I threw it on the ground.
就直接往地上摔，
And I yelled at the boat.
然后我就对那个船大吼大叫。
Ah!
啊！
And then I said, and then my grandma heard the yell, right? She thought I hurt myself.
然后我奶奶听到声音，以为我受伤，就赶快
So she came running out of the kitchen,
跑出来，
and then she looked at the boat on the floor,
她就看见船在地上，
and then she said, Ayo, what happened?
她说：“哎呦，喜安娜，
I'm from Singapore, by the way.
我从新加坡来的。
How many Singaporeans and Malaysians do we have in the
我
house?
们这边有多少人从新加坡、
Okay,
马来西亚来的？
you're gonna get some
欢迎你。
Singlish coming, okay? So my grandma, she doesn't speak English,
我奶奶其实不会讲英
so I'm
文，
translating her Singlish into Chinese.
所以我就来
Oh,
翻译
wait,
一下
shit,
她
no,
的，
the English.
把她的那个国语翻成中文，翻成英文。
Ayo,
她说：“哎呦，
why you throw the boat?
你为什么要把船丢在地上？”
I look at my grandma.
我就看着我奶奶，
I was crying by this point.
我那时候在哭。
Amma, the boat bully me.
阿嬷，船欺负我啦！
The boat bully me.
船欺负我。
And my grandma looked at the boat.
然后奶奶就看那条船，
How the boat bully you?
船怎么欺负
It
你？
looks like you bully the boat.
看起来是你在欺负他。
And so I told my grandma, like, this thing don't stick.
我就跟奶奶说，这个都粘不起来
In
啦。
English, it means that the part doesn't stick.
他说粘不起来，粘不起来。
And so my grandma, very calmly,
No.
she looked at the boat.
那我奶奶就非常冷静的看了一下那艘船，
She picked it up.
她把它捡起来，
She looked at the place that doesn't stick.
她就看那些粘不起来的地方，
She put it back on the ground
她要把它放回地上，
and went into the kitchen.
然后就跑回厨房了。
And I was like,
然后我就继续在那边哭。
and she came out very shortly with a bunch of like clothes pegs.
那她很快呢就从厨房里出来，然后带着一些晒衣夹。
And these clothes pegs are, the ones that you clip your clothes on to dry, right? Because she was washing clothes.
因为她在洗衣服嘛，所以她就用那些晒衣夹，
And she picked up the boat again, and then she started clipping.
然后她就把船从地上拿起来，开始用晒衣夹夹住。
She started clipping all the parts that I've put glue on all the way to the top so it doesn't open again.
所以她就夹住那些所有需要粘在一起的边缘，
And then she gave it back to me,
然后就把船还给我。
and she said,
她就说
Nah, fix it, lady.
解决啦。
I was like, and then I started thinking to myself, at that moment, when I stopped crying, I looked at the boat and I thought to myself,
那时候我看了船，我就不再哭，我想说，哎，
why didn't I think of that before?
我之前怎么没有想到有这一招啊？
That's really simple.
这其实很简单哎。
Like, duh, if I use a clip, I can just stop it from opening.
如果我早知道用夹子的话，一切就不会弹开啦。
Now, I'm not saying that my grandma gave me OCD,
我不是说我的奶奶把这个强迫症带给我啦，
but this story kind of shifted me, and now I have a core belief.
但是这个故事呢，这个经历呢，其实真正的改变我，让我开始有个核心的信念。
Because after this incident, now I fully believe that always is a solution to any problem.
因为这个事件，我开始相信所有问题都一定有个解决的方法，
I just need to find it.
我只是需要去找到它而已。
And so now, whenever I'm met with problems or I see something that is kind of off,
所以现在我遇到困难或是遇到一些问题的时候，
my OCD kicks in.
我的强迫症就会来了。
I'll start to think, what can I do about this?
我就会想说，我可以做什么？
So I kind of believe that OCD people are actually also fixers.
所以我相信有强迫症人其
If
实他
there
们
are any
本身也非常
OCDs
会
in，the house, you would understand me, right?
他们非常会解决问
It's
题
just。something I want to fix to make this better.
我就是想要把事情解决，让事情更好。
Now, a lot of us probably have instances like this before,
那可能我们很多人有过这样的经历，
where you probably meet with something that's really, like you find it really hard to overcome, but when someone shows you something, it changes you.
可能你会遇过一些你没有办法解决问题的一些状态，但是有人呢向你显明了一些方式，所以你就开始改变你的
And
想
it
法。
shifts your core belief about that thing.
它帮助你的核心信念整个改变。
And so today, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today.
所以今天我们要来谈论，
We're going to talk about the shift.
我们要谈论转移这件事。
Something, you were once looking at things this way, but now something caused you to shift.
那就是你从前用这个方式看事情，然后但是有件事情发生，让你可以有转移。
And to talk a little bit about shift, I'm going to read from the book of John.
那我要来读约翰福音。
And this story is probably, very popular in church.
那可能大家都听过这个故事。
If you're not, if it's your first time in church, don't worry, I'm going to share the story with you today.
那如果是第一次来到教会呢，也可以来一起听这个故事。
Now, this story is about the feeding of the 5,000.
这讲的是五饼二鱼的故事，
Talking about Jesus going on the mountain.
就耶稣。
And there's a huge crowd, right? So I'm going to read I'm going to read in English first, and then Pastor Ashley is going to read it in Chinese after, okay? So we're going to read this. John 6, verse 1 to 3, it says, "Sometime after this, Jesus crossed to the far shore of the Sea of Galilee, and a great crowd of people followed him because they saw the signs he had performed by healing the sick. Then Jesus went up on a mountainside and sat down with his disciples."
这是以后约翰福音6章1到3节，这是以后耶稣渡过加利利海，就是提比里亚海。有许多人因为看见他在病人上所行的神迹，就跟随他。耶稣上了山，和门徒一同坐在那里。
Sorry. And then verse 5, if we jump forward, it says, "When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming towards him, he said to Philip, 'Where shall we buy bread for these people?' He asked only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered him, it would take more than half a year's wage to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite." Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. He said, "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 fish. But how far will they go among so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." And there were plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men there were. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed to those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. Then, when they had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, gather the pieces that were left over. Let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with pieces of barley loaves left over by those who eaten.
约翰福音6章5到13节，耶稣举目看见许多人来，就对腓力说：“我们从哪里买饼叫这些人吃呢？”他说这话是要试验腓力，他自己原知道要怎样行。腓力回答说：“就是20两银子的饼，叫他们个人吃一点也是不够的。”有一个门徒就是西门彼得的兄弟安德烈，对耶稣说：“在这里有一个孩童带着5个大麦饼、2条鱼，只是分给这许多人，还算什么呢？”耶稣说：“你们叫众人坐下。”原来那地方的草多，众人就坐下，数目约有5000。耶稣拿起饼来，祝谢了，就分给那些坐着的人。分鱼也是这样，都随着他们所要的。他们吃饱了，耶稣对门徒说：“把剩下的零碎收拾起来，免得有糟蹋的。”所以他们便将那5个大麦饼的零碎，就是众人吃了剩下的，收拾起来，装满了12个篮子。
Now, I love this story because I'm Asian,
我很喜欢这个故事，因为我是亚洲人，
and it's about food.
因为谈论到食物嘛。
Now, why I say this because, when you want to gather a group of people, we know as Asians, we love to do that over food.
那我们知道，就是每次要聚集一堆人，其实亚洲人最喜欢做的事就是用食物来聚集大家。
Actually, I think that's influenced the rest of the world. Everyone loves to meet for food now.
其实大家都很喜欢因为食物而聚在一起。
Now, when I was in Singapore and we had to organize like a group outing with our friends, it's always a little bit tough.
那以前我在新加坡很喜欢办活动，那我每次都会觉得有点困难。
Because when I have to organize with my classmates, we have to think about what activities do we want to do that everyone would like to go.
因为每次办活动的时候，都要想说，到底要办什么活动，大家才会都想去。
So in Singapore, like the guys would come together and we're like, hey, let's go play soccer.
那男生就会说，那我们去踢足球啊。
And then the girls would be like, huh?
那女生就会说，哈，
Don't want lah, very hot leh.
好热哦，户外呢，
I don't want to sweat lah.
不想流汗啦。
And then you're like, oh, okay lah, okay lah, okay
然后
lah.
男生就说，好啦，好啦，好啦。
And then we try and think about something else because we want to include the girls.
那我们就想说，那有什么活动女生也可以参加呢？
And we say, well, okay, how about let's go watch a movie?
那说我们一起去看电影吧。
What movie?
什么电影啦？
You want to watch Avenger? I don't want
不想看复仇者联盟啦。
It's like, everyone has different tastes.
那想说，每个人喜欢的都不一样，
They want to do different things.
他们都想要做不一样的事。
So at the end, what we do is let's just meet over a meal.
所以我们最后决定，那大家就一起吃东西好了。
So I have like our class reunions. We always do it in a restaurant, and there's food for everybody.
所以我每次聚会啊、同乐会啊，都是在餐厅里面
The。best type is you go to buffet.
最好的是去吃到饱，
Everybody can be satisfied with
大家
something.
都什么都可以吃，
I
大
don't
家都
have
开
to worry
心，
about you want Thai, you want a Mexican, you want.
不用担心到底要吃哪一国的食物，
Just meet.
就是聚在一起。
Now, so when we meet up for food, I mean, just recently we had Pastor Peter's birthday too, right?
那最近我们也帮 Pastor Peter 庆生。
When we plan for it, we say, maybe 10 to 12 people will come.
那一开始我们计划大概是10到12个人会来，
But as time went by, people started calling like, hey, I want to go.
那可是后来就很多人说他们也想来参加，
And then Deborah has to call the restaurant a few times.
所以我们开始就必须要打给餐厅，
We need 5 more chairs.
我们需要多加5个人。
I think we now have 20 something people.
我们现在大概20几个
I
人，
think we need a room.
我想说我们需要一间包厢啊。
And I was thinking, wow, people really love to meet over food.
然后我想说，大家真的很喜欢一起吃在
Now,
一起。
Jesus' disciple has maybe a little more than 20 people,
那耶稣的门徒呢？他们可能面对的是比20个人多一点的人，
at about 5,000.
大概5000人左右。
And then if you look in the book of Matthew, it actually says it was 5,000 men, not including women and children.
那在马太福音里面说的更详细，他说这个5000人是只有男人，还不包括女人跟孩子。
So if you add everyone up,
所以你把大家加起来，
that's
Wow.
a lot of hungry people.
是很多饥肠辘辘的人呢。
And I believe like the disciples could see because they're standing on the mountaintop.
那门徒呢，在山上看就知道，哇，人数真的众多。
And then to make matters worse, to make it even more difficult,
那如果要说更难的话来看，
Jesus told the disciples, go make them sit down.
耶稣还要他们把叫众人坐下。
If you look in another book, it actually says, go make them sit down in groups of 50.
耶稣还要求他们就是50个人一群，然后坐一组。
Do you know, we just had like a Date My Maid event, 联谊.
那我们刚才有办过那个第一 Day My May 的联谊活动，
Pastor Ashley and myself, we were the hosts.
那我们2个是主持人，
We're supposed to manage the activities and do the games.
那我们要带大家玩游戏。
And it's so fun, by the way. So if we have DMM next year or whenever this year, please, for those of you single,
那我们还会再办，所以大家不要担心。
and we'll improve the way we do it too. Like, yeah.
我们会办得更好，下一次。
But there was this one activity that we had to do where we have to split 70 people into 4 teams.
那其中我们有个活动呢，我们要把70个人分成4组。
And if those of you who were there, you noticed, right? It was a bit chaotic. It was like,
那如果有去的人都知道，其实那天有点混乱啊。
70 people. How do I split into 4 teams? And it needs to be paired with guy and girl.
我想说要怎么样分成4组，还是男女配对都是刚刚好的。
We even did the preparation to actually stick stickers with colors.
那我们甚至事前有想过这些，还要做准备活动，
And still, it was so hard.
但是后来发现还是好难去分组。
I can't imagine what the disciples have to go through when Jesus said, "Oh, yeah, you see these 5,000 people? Make them sit down in groups of 50."
我不敢相信，到底门徒是经历多大的挑战，要把5000人，然后50人分一组做
It just
好，
increased the stress in me,
就会让我里面就想到这件事，就觉得很焦虑。
especially if I'm OCD, right? It's like, not too close.
不能
This
太
is the
近
line, your side.
我强迫症会规定我要分得很好。
Now, in the story here, Jesus wanted to feed the people.
那在这故事当中呢，耶稣想要喂饱这5000人。
And then amongst his disciples, there's a person named Philip.
那他门徒当中有个叫腓力的人，
And he's really, he's good at math.
他数学很好。
So when he heard Jesus said that,
当他听到耶稣这样说的时候，
he whipped out his phone
他就把他的手机
and
拿
then he
出
turned
来，
on his calculator app and started crunching numbers.
开始用他的计算机算。
It's like, Jesus,
他说：“啊，耶稣，耶稣，
I don't think that we're gonna be able to do it.
我想我们应该没有办法啊。
I think we're lacking something really important.
我想说我们缺了一些很重要的东西啊。
But you know what? I have a better idea. Why not we send them back to their homes?
那我有更好的主意，要不然我们把他们送回去好了，怎
If
么
they go
样？
home, maybe they have some leftover cereal or something. They can eat and fill themselves.
如果把他们送回家，他们家里一定有剩菜剩饭可以吃的，
Send them home.
把他们送回家吧。”
And because basically for Philip, he saw the people and he saw what he had and he's like, I think it's impossible, Jesus. What you're asking is impossible.
因为腓力看看这些群众，又看看自己手上有的，就跟耶稣说：“这个简直是不可能的任务啊！”
Philip said, it would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have one bite.
他说：“就算花一年的薪，
Half a year. Half a year's
就算花了
wages.
半年的薪水呢，买到食物也只够一人一口而已。
It's like, Jesus, ”
他说：“耶稣，
don't be silly.
别傻了啦，
Just send them home.
就把他们送回家吧
I mean, don't you know what we have?
难道你不知道我们有多少吗？
It almost feels like he's saying, don't you care about these people?
他就好像在跟耶稣说：“难道你不在意这些人吗？”
And I kind of, when I hear that, I kind of remember the times when the disciples talk to Jesus about, what he cares about.
那我就想到，其实门徒很多时候都会问耶稣有关于他在意什么。
Like there's this one other time when they were in a boat, right?
有一次他们不是在一个船上吗？
And Jesus was there chilling and he fell asleep.
耶稣在那个船上是
All
睡
of a
着
sudden,
的，
there's like a storm that came in.
然后他们就经历一个很
And they're
大的
like-
暴风雨，
They start panicking and they start worrying like the boat is gonna, capsize.
他们就开始很紧张、很惊慌，因为他们很怕翻船。
So what they do, they go and wake Jesus up.
他们就跑去把耶稣叫起来
Jesus, don't you care?
耶稣，耶稣，你不在意吗？
I was like, oh, wait a minute. If we know who Jesus is, we know he cares.
但是我就想一下，如果我们真的认识耶稣，我们就知道他真的在意。
I mean, he's the Son of God who left everything in heaven just to come and be with us. I think he cares.
他是神的儿子，他把天堂的一切都留在天上，下来与我们在一起。我想他真的在乎我们。
But I love Jesus because everything that he does, he has a purpose to it.
我真的很喜欢耶稣，因为他所做的每件事都有一个目的。
It's like, we talk about serving in church, right?
我们
Ministry teams.
我们常讲到我们在教会服侍，
As we serve, sometimes the things that are inside start to come out.
有时候我们服侍的时候，我们生命的一些问题就会显露出来。
And it's when those things come out that, by the grace of God, he heals those areas and help us get better.
所以，当我们生命的问题被显现出来的时候，神就用他的恩典和爱来帮助我们解决这个问题。
So I want to encourage you guys, if you want to serve,
所以，鼓励大家，如果你们想要服侍，
you want to build this house together,
一起来打造我们的教会，
you want to see some of these inner things come out,
想要面对一些生命的问题，
we're okay with the mess
我们很欢迎你，
because God can deal with it.
因为神会帮助你。
But, Jesus is such a patient man
那耶稣是一个非常有耐心的人，
because when he hears these things, he could have been like, wait, you don't trust me?
因为他就如果听到他这样子问他，他会说怎样？你为什么要怀疑我呢？
But no, Jesus was patient.
但耶稣非常有爱心，非常有耐心。
And plus, he's a man of action.
那他也是一个行动派，
He didn't just say, go do it, and then just sit on the side and just watch them kind of panic.
他不是叫门徒去做，就是在旁边乘凉，然后什么都不帮忙。
He knew exactly how he was going to respond because he saw the opportunity to shift their perspective.
他知道这是一个很好的机会，可以来转移门徒们的一些眼光。
Now, when the other disciples came back from their brainstorming,
所以当门徒们脑力激荡完后，回到耶稣那边，
Andrew brought this little boy.
安德烈人就带了一个小男孩，
He's like, hey, Jesus.
他说：“耶稣啊，耶
Sorry,
稣，
this is a Singaporean Andrew. It's like, hey, Jesus,
耶稣，耶稣，
I found this boy.
我找到一个小男孩，哎，
He got this 便当.
他有一个便当哦，
Inside it has 5 loaves and 2 fish.
里面有5饼跟2个鱼。
But, where got enough?
他说啊，我们也不够啦，其实
How far will this go among so many people?
这样子一点点能喂饱多少人呢？
I believe when they brought this boy, he's kind of showing to Jesus, see, we tried.
我相信他们带这个小朋友来到他面前的时候，其实就跟耶稣讲说：“哎，我们尽力了啦。
I don't want to come back to Jesus empty-handed, right?
我不想要两手空空的回来。
I mean, you told about the parable, you know, the guy who put the coin, his money into the ground, his talents, and he hid it, and then, you know, suddenly everything got taken away.
圣经有个故事，就是他有一个仆人拿了1000块，然后把它藏在地下，结果后来呢，他的主人就非常生气他做这件事情。
But let me just bring one boy.
所以我就带了一个小男孩来到这里，
It's not my food, it's his food.
就是我的他有一个食物，
And so he said, here this boy has 5 loaves and 2 fishes, but how far would it go among so many people?
那这小男孩只有5饼2鱼，那他又能喂饱多少人呢？
Now see, even though they found a boy with food, it was an opportunity for Jesus to show them that they still have the wrong mindset about their situation.
那他这样子的一个带这个小朋友来到神的面前呢，耶稣看见其实门徒他们的眼光呢还是不正确的。
Even though there's food before their very eyes, they still saw a lack.
就算他们看见这小男孩有食物，但是他们却依然专注在他们的缺乏上面。
But Jesus, he was trying to show them that you have an abundance.
但耶稣想要让他们知道是，其实你有的很多。
The abundance doesn't come through the 5 loaves and 2 fishes.
你有的丰盛不是从这5饼2鱼而来，
It comes from what you're focused on.
而是从你把焦点放在哪里。
So when Jesus took this 5 loaves and 2 fishes, he gave thanks.
所以当耶稣拿起这5饼2鱼就祝谢了，
And then he started to distribute it
他就开始分给众人，
to as many of those people who were sitting all around.
就分给坐在地上的那些人。
And then he did the same for the fish until everyone had their fill. The disciples gathered 12 baskets full.
所以呢，他鱼也是这样。所以当他们把每个人都喂饱之后，竟然还有12篮的剩下的食物。
Now when Jesus was faced with this, he didn't panic
所以当耶稣面对这个问题的时候，他并没有慌张，
because he was really focused on one thing and one thing alone.
因为他只把焦点放在一件事上，而只放在这件事上。
He knew that his supply, his provision doesn't come through just this 5 loaves and 2 fish.
因为他知道他的供应并不是从这5饼2鱼而来，
He focused his attention on God, who was the provider, who is the provider, and is able to do immensely more than what we can ever imagine.
因为他知道他把焦点放在我们天上那位父，他才是真正的供应者，然后他会提供超乎我们所求所想。
But the disciples don't get it yet.
但门徒那时候还不明白这一点，
So watch this. This is what Jesus did.
所以耶稣就这样做。
Okay, he didn't just like take the bread and just like, nah.
他不是只是把饼拿着就撒给
And
大
then
家，
everyone would have like a bread on their stomach. Oh,
每个人
God.
可能都因为耶稣会行神迹，就每个人都拿了一个饼。
He could do that.
他可以这样做，对不
He's
对？
God.
他是神嘛，
He could even snap his fingers and then everyone's full.
他可能弹个手指，每个人都吃饱了。
But what did he do?
但他做什么呢？
He told the disciples, you take the bread and distribute it to everyone.
他跟门徒说：“你们拿饼，并且分给众人。”
So it's not written in the Bible, but you know, I use your imagination with me a little bit, okay?
对，那这在圣经当中没有，但是我想让大家一起发挥想象力。
If I'm the disciple and I have this basket with 5 loaves and 2 fishes,
那如果我是门徒，然后我拿着5饼2鱼，
I take my first loaf.
我就先拿我第一个饼。
I'm like, okay, you, just take a little bit.
他说：“你先拿一小撮
Maybe
就好，
not a bite, just a little bit first.
就是先拿一点点就好，
Maybe the sesame, just the sesame
芝
seed.
麻就好，拿芝麻
Okay?
上面芝麻
Yeah,
就好。
good. Next
好，
one.
下一个
Oh。yeah, take a little bit. Yeah, good.
好，那
good.
你再多拿一点，再多拿一点，
This probably can feed about 20 people.
大概
okay?
这样一个饼可以喂20个人
And。he kept going,
然后
going.
继续走，继续走。
But as he finished that loaf and reached in to get another one, something started to happen in the basket.
当他把这个饼发完以后，他又继续要拿饼发的时候，就发现，哎，
Eh? Wait, wait, what?
哎，
How come there's 5 again?
怎么又还是有5个饼在里面啊？
And so it's like, okay, let's try some more. Okay, how about you
Oh,
take a little bit more now?
然后这次他就给了更多一点，
Okay. You can take a little,
再
take a
多
little
拿一
bit
点
more.，
再多拿一点。
Wait,
哎，
it's 5 loaves again.
这还是5个饼。
Now, I imagine if I was Jesus, if I was a disciple, I'd be like, hey, something's starting to happen.
我想说，如果是门徒的话，我真的会很兴奋，想说，哎，
I'm not so familiar with miracles yet, but something is starting to happen in this basket.
我好像没有经历过神迹，但现在好像真的要发生在这里了
The。bread keeps multiplying.
这个饼一直都没有被用完呢。
It's like, hey, guys, come. You go give this one away.
OK，大家赶快来，大家来，
Okay,
你
now
们
they're
开始去
starting
发
to
饼，
break it in half instead.
他们就开始把饼分
And
成
they're
一
like,
半，
okay, you take half.
然后就每个人都
You
你
take
拿
half.
一半，你拿一半，
There's more. You take half.
你拿一半
You take half.
你拿一半。
Eventually, they're like, you know what? Just take the whole thing.
到最后他说整个都拿去，整个都拿去。
Very soon they're like throwing buns everywhere.
可能就是这样用丢的来分给大家。
When Jesus told the disciples to bring the food to the people, it was to help them shift their perspective.
因为当耶稣要门徒去分派食物给众人的时候，其实是要帮助他们去转移他们的焦点。
You know, a lot of times when we pray for God to come and change our situation, it doesn't always happen just like that.
很多时候我们求神来马上改变我们的一些状况跟光景，但是这些改变不会马上就临到。
Because our focus is not on the right place.
因为我们的焦点没有放在对的地方。
You know, because see, like the disciples, they had the answer in front of them. Jesus was there.
因为门徒他们其实就有答案，因为耶稣就在他们眼前。
But what they were focusing on is in the lack.
但他们却把焦点放在那个缺乏的上面。
And Jesus said, no, 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 no.
但耶稣说不。
Your focus shouldn't be on what you don't have.
你的焦点不应该放在你没有的上面。
Your focus should be on somewhere up there.
你的焦点应该放在天上。
Because when you can see the abundance that's available to you, you won't think the same anymore.
因为当你看见你天上那位父他是丰富的供应者的时候，你就不会看见你的缺乏。
Your perspective start to change.
你的焦点开始改变。
You know, we talk about offering and being a blessing and being generous in this church.
那我们很多时候收奉献，我们都告诉大家说，我们要来慷慨给予。
Sometimes when I look at my bank account, I kind of wonder, would I be able to give enough that will make a difference?
我有时候看自己，我就觉得我给的够多，真的可以带下改变吗？
Is it going to actually help anybody?
真的会帮助到谁吗？
But what I'm focusing on is this little amount that I have, the lack.
但是我那时候看的其实就是我手上有的这一小部
And
分。
look at the need that's all around. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make a difference.
然后我看着身边有这么多需要，我想说我到底能带下什么改变？
But Jesus came and he said, no, no, no. Your eyes need to be fixed on something else.
但耶稣说不，你的焦点应该要放在别的地方，
He focuses on what's in your heart.
你要放在你的心里所有的。
And when you shift your perspective from what is in your hand, the lack that's in your hand, you start to see things very differently.
因为当你的眼光转变的时候，你就不再去专注在你的缺乏上面，而是你会有个新的看见。
When Jesus saw what was available in heaven, he was able to call it down into reality.
因为当耶稣他看见天上的丰盛，他定睛在那个上面的时候，他就可以把这样的丰盛带到地上。
Is there something that you are looking for that's in heaven and you want to call it down?
有没有什么是你想要，你知道在天堂有的，然后你想要让它也在地上发生？
You know, in Jesus' name, we can do that.
你们知道，我们奉主耶稣名，这真的会实现。
But what are you focusing on?
但你的焦点放在哪里？
You know, in this church, we talk a lot about vision.
因为我们在我们教会当中，其实我们很多谈论到有关意象。
When we first started planning about launching the Hope, we spent 3 to 4 months talking about vision.
在我们开始的 Hope 之前，我们花了3到4个月时间，一直在谈论意象这件事情。
And you know me being OCD, I want to know everything is working.
那因为我自己有强迫症，我就很希望每一件事情都是在运行的。
That we have a plan for our services, that we have some sort of program going on.
然后我们就在想我们主日的流程，然后要怎么样做这些流程。
But we spent 3 to 4 months talking about the why.
但是我们花了3到4个月时间去谈论我们的 why 是什么，的原因是什么，为什么。
And the stuff that we discuss is not about the designs on the screen or even the type of preaching that we're gonna have on the stage.
但我们那时候谈论的并不是我们的设计要怎么样，或是我们讲到的形式是要怎么样。
What we talked about is you.
我们在讨论的是在座的每一位。
We asked ourselves, what is the vision God has placed on the Hope?
我们问神说：“神，你对于 The Hope 的意象是什么？”
For every single one of you who call this place home, what is God's vision for you guys?
对于在座每一位把这里称作是家的，神对你们的意象又是什么？
We asked, what do we want to see in the people of the Hope becoming?
我们问的是，来到 Hope 的人，他们的生命能有什么样的改变？
We want the people of the Hope to become the most generous and the most hopeful people in Taiwan.
我们希望来 Hope 教会的人都可以成为全台湾最慷慨而且最有盼望的人。
And that's why the Hope Week is born,
所以我们才会有 Hope Week，
where we can go out there and bless the different people.
所以我们可以去外面服侍祝福很
That
多
we can
人。
be generous with our energy and our time.
我们可以把我们的时间跟体力都慷慨的献给别人。
And then we talk about, what would the people of the Hope become? We want the people of the Hope to become the most welcoming people in Taiwan.
我们希望的 Hope 教会可以成为最欢迎人的一个教会，
That's why we put up all these signs that say welcome home.
所以我们才会挂上这些标语，欢迎回家。
That's why we constantly tell people welcome home.
所以我们一直不断告诉他说，欢迎你们，欢迎你们来到我们当中。
We want people of the Hope to be owners and builders of this home.
我们希望你们可以每一个人都可以成为这个家的主人，还有建造者。
That's why our leaders and volunteers spend countless hours just planning and strategizing and building this place up.
所以我们的领袖还有同工们都花了好多的时间，就是在去想、去策划怎么来建造这个家。
Why?
为什么？
Just so that one more person can come to know Jesus.
为了就是多那一个人可以来到这里认识耶稣。
We want the people of the Hope to witness a revival in Taiwan.
我们希望的 Hope 可以见证台湾的复兴。
And that is why we put up baptism videos during worship every single Sunday.
这是为什么我们每个礼拜都会放受洗的见证影片。
Guys, you gotta get this.
大家你们知道吗？
What you fix your focus on will become your reality.
你们所专注的焦点将会成为现实。
What we set our focus on will become our reality.
我们所专注的焦点将会成为我
Come
们的
on,
现实。
somebody. Do you see that? Do you see
你
it?
们有看见吗？你们有看见吗？
When we focus on something, it actually grows.
当我们把焦点放在某些事情上面的时候，其实他们是会开始成長的。
When you focus your attention on something, you grow in that skill.
当你专注做某件事，你的技术就会越来越好。
And the reality of heaven is that when you focus on God's promises,
所以现实就是，当你专注在神的应许上，
His promises come true.
他的应许就会实现。
I was thinking about how to share this part.
我一直在想要怎么样跟大家分享这个部分。
But a little bit about myself is I didn't grow up in a Christian family.
那我其实不是在一个基督教的家庭长大。
My parents were Christian when I was born, and so they gave me the name Jireh.
那我出生的时候，我父母其实是基督徒，所以我的名字叫做 Jireh。
But 2 to 3 years after that, they stopped going to church, and so I didn't know Jesus growing up.
但后来他们就没有再去教会，所以我长大的过程当中，其实我并不是在教会里面长大。
I only came to Christ in 2009. And honestly, my testimony is not as amazing as Pastor Peter's.
那我2009年才正式成为一个基督徒。
Pastor Peter, he encountered God in a mental institution.
那 Pastor Peter 他其实在医院里面经历神，遇见神。
But I came to church because a friend invited me.
那我的经历不是这样，我来到教会其实是因为有个朋友约我到教会。
And he was always late, by the way.
那他其实常常迟到。
But something I saw in church made me stay in church.
但是我在教会中看到的事情，让我想要继续的留在这个教会。
Even before I was a Christian.
就在我还没有成为基督徒之前，我就被这个吸引。
See, my family, they raised me the best way that they could.
那我的父母真的非常用心的来养育我。
But throughout the years, there's some things that created a lot of friction between me and my family.
但是呢，我成长的过程当中，其实我们家里是有非常多的摩擦跟问题。
And eventually, I came to lose hope about my own future family.
所以到后来，其实我对于我未来自己的家都失去了一个盼望。
I even said stuff like, when I have my own family, it's not gonna look like that.
我甚至对自己说，等我以后有自己的家庭的时候，绝对不会像我现在的家庭一样。
And even though it sounds like I have a vision, it wasn't really a vision.
虽然听起来我好像知道自己要什么，但其实我并不知道。
Because all I knew was what I don't want to be,
因为我当时专注的只是我不想要成为，
but I didn't know what it should look like.
但是我并不知道我将来希望有什么样的一个家庭。
So when I came to church, I saw families with their kids.
所以当我来到教会的时候，我看到这边有很多的孩子和家庭，
I saw the relationships that they had with one another.
我看见他们这些孩子与他们父母的关系。
And I wanted to know if this was real or are they just putting up a show.
所以我就那时候就很想知道，这到底是真的还是他们只是演给大家看。
So I kept coming back.
所以我持续的开始去教会，
Kept coming back.
持续的去教会。
And then they invited me to go to their homes to have lunch and dinner.
那后来呢，他们就邀请我去他们家里面吃饭。
And I saw them discipline their kids.
我就看见他们是如何管教他们的孩子。
But then their kids still love them and trust them. And just the relationship that they have, I was like, that's what I want.
后来我看见这些孩子虽然被管教，但是依然还是跟他们父母有个非常好的关系，我就惊觉到这就是我想要的。
And so God, by His grace, gave me a vision for what my family, my future family could look like.
神因着他的恩典给了我一个意象，是关于我未来的家庭要长什么样子。
And that shifted my perspective about family.
那个完全转移了我对于家庭的观念。
Today,
今天
I have a great relationship with my wife.
我今天跟我的太太有个非常良好的关系，
But at the same time, God is doing something in my relationship with my family back in Singapore.
那神呢也在我和我父母的关系当中开始做很奇妙的事。
They didn't change very much, but this person changed.
虽然我的父母没有变很多，但是我改变了。
But when God changed my perspective, I treated them differently, and that changed everything.
当神改变我的眼光，然后我开始用不同的方式跟他们互动，我的家庭就开始有了改变。
When God gives us a vision,
当神给我们一个意象的时候，
He gives us a hope and a future.
他给了我们一个盼望和一个未来。
Would you rise with me? Would you stand with me,
请大家
please?
从座位上站起来。
In Jeremiah 29:11,
耶利米书29章11节，
it says here,
这边说
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future.
耶和华
Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me. And when you seek me with all your heart, I will be found by you, declares the Lord.
耶利米书29章11节到14节，耶和华说：“我知道我向你们所怀的意念是赐平安的意念，不是降灾祸的意念，要叫你们末后有指望。你们要呼求我，祷告我，我就应允你们。你们寻求我，若专心寻求我，就必寻见。耶和华说：我必被你们寻见，我也必使你们被掳的人归回。”
What are you focusing on today?
我要大家今天专注的焦点是：
How many of us need a shift in our focus today?
我们多少人当中，今天是需要在焦点上面有一个转移的。
I believe today by the Holy Spirit that God is going to release a breakthrough for all of us who needs that shift today.
我相信神会降下一个突破在所有需要的人当中。
So all of you, we're going to lift up our voices right now.
我们现在一起来，
And I'm going to pray for all of us.
来一起来同声祷告。
Father God, I just thank you, Lord, for what you're doing.
神，我为你向你做的事，向你献上感谢。
Thank you for giving us a new perspective.
谢谢你给我们一个新的眼光，
Help us to focus on what you are doing.
帮助我们去定睛在你在做的事情上
Help
面
us，to not see through our eyes, but through yours.
让我们透过你的眼光来看。
And through that perspective, we will find our hope and our future.
透过你的眼光，我们将会看见盼望，看见我们的未来。
Lord God, I bless my brothers and sisters here.
神，我要来祝福我的弟兄姐妹。
And I ask God that you bring an increase in their life.
神，我求你降下你的丰盛在他们生命当
That they
中。
won't see things in lack, but through your abundance.
他们不是看是自以为缺乏，
In
而是看
Jesus'
你的
name we
丰盛。
pray.
奉主耶稣名
And
祷
all
告。
God's people say,
大家一起说
Amen, amen, amen.
谢谢你今天的收看，希望我们的信息呢，今天可以给你满满的收获以及祝福。同时，如果你喜欢我们的 YouTube 频道，我们也邀请你可以订阅我们的 YouTube 频道，并且鼓励你可以分享给你的朋友。我们相信，透过你的分享，你的朋友的生命可以得到更多的祝福。同时，如果你想要支持我们的事工，你也可以点选奉献，帮助更多的人，因为我们相信你的慷慨和奉献正在影响着他们人的生命。谢谢你，我们下周见喽。